All right, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Palworld 1.0. The release is finally here. Everybody's going crazy. We got a new player here who hasn't played the game and one player who hasn't. We're also going to be talking about VR. What VR? Steam Frame. Is it right around the corner? Is it coming sooner than later? Let's talk about it. Hit the music. But yes, fellas, welcome, MegaBit Misfits. We are here. We got a special guest today, along with my co-host, Mr. Rav. I have an esteemed alumni, Mr. Renegade XP. No relation. How you doing, fella?
Yeah, good, man. I'm here. Thank you for having me.
All right. Okay. So look, Pal, let's get right into it. Palworld 1.0. Mr. Rav hasn't played the game. But Mr. Renegade, you are a new player to this game. Mr. Rav, I know he has some questions for us both who played the game, but let's first get into how does it feel, or how does it feel rather, to play this new 1.0 release? Because you didn't play the previous one, right? The previous early access, right? Oh my God. Okay. No. Tell us, sir, your overall impressions of this game.
Very addictive. This is a very addictive game. It's fun. I didn't think it would. On paper, it doesn't sound to me. This is the way I saw it. Like on paper, it didn't sound very good. But once I played it, yeah, it's a very addictive game. I've you've seen us. We've been playing, and I've also been playing by myself. Pause and And so
playing with your pals by yourself.
Playing with my pals.
Got it.
All alone.
My pals and the pals and the balls. It's very No, once you get into it and you play it, you see why it's a good game.
Mr. Rav, you got any questions, anything before I move on with asking more things for Mr. Renegade?
Just off of seeing the text scroll by, and you guys have been talking about this for a while. I saw the video you put out the other day. It's still not my cup of tea. I'm not into that type of like. It's too cutesy for me, I guess, and I'm not into Pokemon for the same reason. But I appreciate what they do, and I like that there's variation in this type of game now that can appeal to different players and different audiences that Pokemon couldn't do. So it makes sense that Palworld, is succeeding the way it does. And it's I've seen from when they first came out, and I was a big hater when they first came out. I was just like, oh, this is garbage, this is trash. But now, like, seeing what they've done and seeing how far they've come, it shows I could show an appreciation to the work that they put in.
Any questions for us about the game?
Everything you just said, I felt the same way. You have to play the game. You have to play it.
That's hard.
I hate it.
See myself
everything you just said. I just said everything you just said. That what you said there. Because I had people who played it. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good for him. Because I'm not a Pokemon. I'm not a Pokemon person.
Right. I was the same way with like Arc Raiders and things like that. Like that, those weren't my type of game. When Ray pointed that game out, and when I first saw it, I was super attracted to it just because of the way it looked. But that type of game I stayed away from. But once we got playing, I was hooked to that thing. I was playing that thing we all know we was on every night with that for a good 6 months straight, So let's see at the end of this conversation how I feel,
Okay. So we got to sell it to him, I guess. All right, first and foremost, out the gate, combat. Let's start there. Mr. Renegade XP, can you please let us know, how do you feel about the combat? And I'll tell you, I'll interject or I'll come after you if I feel like things have changed from the pre-release till now. But tell us about combat. How do you feel about combat? Coming from the same place that he was at, how do you feel about it?
The combat itself is not, I don't think it's anything like wow, this is crazy. It's decent. It's normal. You know what I mean? It's like any other third-person shooter you played. I kind of see it as a like Fortnite kind of when it comes to the gameplay. But when you put everything together, like catching the animals and what else do you do? Building, which I think is fantastic. I played a lot of games that have buildings, like Fallout 4 had a building, which I wasn't really a fan of.
Yeah.
I think they needed more work on that, but this game is decent. Like, and I'm not a person who builds, and it got me built, and it got me building stuff. Like, I'm like, oh, this is decent. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So yeah.
On the combat, are you saying, does it feel like spongy? Does it feel like, do you feel like you're not really doing much damage when you're shooting and things like that? Or is it just kind of like what is it that about the combat that feels kind of just like,
it's
whatever,
just basic. It's basic.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not
Simple,
like,
straightforward.
there's a lot of things I wish they added to it. Like maybe like a I don't know, like a slide kind of, or a cover or something like that. But you know,
I believe you can slide. I just don't know how to do it. I think you can.
I tried doing
in
it.
Game.
Well, it's you can slide, but it's not like it's like a small one. It's not really. I feel like it wasn't built. You weren't built to slide, but you could do it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
if I can chime in here, the combat to me, being someone who played it from when it first is in early access up until now, I agree the combat is pretty basic, but I believe that it's done that way to be in a game that's easy to pick up. It's not one of those games where it's like super move, like you got this many moves. Like for example, you have your weapon, your bow, you have one move, shoot, because you're not the one doing. Well, you do damage. But the thing that does the work is the pals. That's what it's about. It's that whole, that's the blend of the Pokemon aspect to the Fortnite aspect you was mentioning. Because you have your weapons, you have your bows, and then the craziest thing is sometimes the pals themselves, them cats be packing too. You gotta, you get things like you got this cute little pal. You're like, oh, he's cute. He's so nice. And this cat will pull a gun out on you. It's crazy.
This is what you was telling me back when the lawsuit started with Nintendo. You were saying about auto battlers, because I didn't know what you meant by that, and I'm assuming that's what you mean. Is like they fight themselves. They fight without you controlling them.
Yes, they fight. They fight
where you control everything.
Right. They fight without you controlling them. They do the moves themselves. It's not like for example, the new up and coming creature capture game called Animo, where you actually bond with your Animo, where you control it and you do the moves, where you are actually physically in control of this creature and all the moves are at your discretion and disposal. You can do whatever you want. And I can't wait for that game to come out. But this game is not like that. It's an auto battle. Like you throw it out, it comes out. Well, you don't throw it out no more because of Nintendo. You call it out, right? And it does the fighting for you. But these characters have different moves and skill sets. Also, because a lot of these types of games have like a battle chart or elemental chart. Let me put it that way. Elemental chart where like rock, paper, scissors, like fire beats grass and grass beats wind and wind. You know what I'm saying? Like ice and fire melts ice and water beats fire. Like it has that play up to the
element to it though.
Right. So you have to be strategic. Like you can have your strong pal, of course, but if you go up against a certain type of pal with a certain type of level with your certain type of pal that doesn't do no damage to this, you're gonna get wrecked. Okay. So there's that to it. But let me move on to another question. And I'll ask Mr. Renegade, and then Rav, you can jump in on your outside perspective. How does it feel to work with the pal? Because you had this previous notion, the same thing that Mr. Rav said, too cutesy, this, that, and the third. Getting into this game and knowing that these elements are in there, how did that quickly melt away once you got into the game?
Yeah,
Damn,
it's funny because
it's that good. Your man is searching.
No, because the whole cutesy thing.
Right.
I get it. They do. But once you start playing the game and you let them go do their thing, and they're going off. Like no, seriously. And I like how you can you can make them more powerful, of course, and then you like, let's say that you have one of them, right? There's different versions. So it's like a small one, then you have like a one that's bigger, and then you have like one that's
shiny.
bigger, that's that's shiny. You know what I mean? So it's very diverse, and that's why I say, when you put everything together, right? Because when you sit here and you go, oh, it plays like Fortnite, okay, yeah, it's basic. But when you put everything together, like the way it plays, the building, the pals, the different type of pals, and the different stuff that they do, like you could like some of the pals, you could ride on them. So you start running, it'll take off, because you don't run as fast. There's some that the ones that fly, you can jump on them and you can start flying, and it's just, it's a lot. And
you can use them as weapons.
I'm pretty sure like I haven't seen, because I when you play with a group, the person who's the leader, you can't play that game. So I can't, like Ray he's the one that's been the
server host. He's been hosting the game, right?
Okay. So I can't take that character from from the game that we playing. I can't go off and do my own thing.
Okay.
I can only play, which kind of sucks, but it's kind of cool because I get to start all over and my own thing and do my own thing. And that's what I've been doing. But and it's been a little bit more difficult because I felt like as the three of us were playing, I was leveling up way faster.
Bro, this cat caught a chillet with
faster.
the blue ball. I was so angry. I was so angry.
That's another thing. There are different balls that are stronger. And I noticed, like right now, I'm up to I have an orange one. I forgot what it's called, but they get stronger because as you level up, you're gonna see bigger ones and bigger pals and
bro, they just smack the ball away. Like you throw it at them.
Yeah, they
just smack it away.
And that's why he was getting upset, because I was catching ones that I should not have been catching with the regular ball.
He was telling me about that off camera. I was laughing. It was cracking.
Yo, for real. So just to piggyback off that real quick, and then I'll jump to you, Mr. Rav. The pals, they also you use them as weapons. Mm-hmm. Some of them, like, you can grab them. Like the one I like is Lift Monk. Like he jumps on my shoulder and he pulls out Uzis and just starts spraying stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then you have Grizzbolt. He literally pulls out a Gatling gun and just starts wilding on people. Then some of them don't even need guns. They just have like super awesome abilities where they fly in the air and throw wind down, or they'll come down with a meteor. Like they'll just be, like he said, they be going off. If you leave them to their own thing, they be wrecking everything. The bases, like the base building, you have base building in the game where a lot of crafting goes on, but the pals work in the base. Like they do work. Like they go to the bench and they'll help you create stuff. Like if you're crafting a bow, a pal will run over to you and start helping you craft the bow. But Ray had this one pal that kept scaring the hell out of Renegade. It was like this dark creature, and he would just pop up behind Renegade, and you hear so he just creeps up behind you and starts crafting.
Giving me a massage.
You know what I'm saying? So in the game, they help you craft things. They help you like if you got like rocks or palladium around your base, they'll mine it, or if there's wood, they'll chop it, because you're gonna need all these resources to craft your items and stuff. And it's definitely resource management that's in the game. You do need to eat, you do need to sleep, but if you customize the server, those things can pretty much become non-existent. Like you can turn down durability, you can increase how many resources that you have. So it all depends on how you want to play. That's one of the greatest things I think about games like this, where a person like you, Mr. Rav, you may not want to do all of that crafting. You may like, I don't feel like crafting a bow every single time it breaks. You could turn all of that down. You know what I'm saying? Where you could just focus on getting the items that you need, the materials, crafting, and keep going. Now I'm gonna kick it over to you.
Well, this goes back. a little bit of it goes into the conversation of like,
Mm-hmm.
You also know I'm not into like crafting, like survival type games and things like that as well. So
that's why I mentioned that. That's why I mentioned that.
I appreciate that, but like I don't know if it's hard, man. I don't know. It's just the combination of everything is just, it's just not my type of thing. I'm just trying to like, I'm trying to see what's there that I would really like. And so far, the only thing I'm hearing is like, I like that that they have guns. I like that they have weapons. I like that they go off and all of that, right? But I can't like what's the purpose? What's the story? Give me something there, maybe that has a reason to have all these things going on. Like I don't know what else is there that I could grasp for. You know what I mean? That would get me into it personally.
Okay, all right. And I'll say my piece and then I'll pass it on to Mr. Renegade. Well, this game is a creature capture game, so I think if you're not into that at the beginning, that's a big disadvantage on trying to get into the game in the first place. And it's not a knock to you. That's just to anybody that's watching.
No,
you
no.
May not want
I was complaining about the cutesy stuff, but then I'm thinking about Monster Hunter, and I'm not into that either. So it's like, it's just
wow.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
Monster. You don't like Monster Hunter? Yeah. And that go hard. I would think you would like that way more than you would like Palworld.
I was interested. I tried it. I didn't care.
With a team, yo, you got to try that with a team, bro.
I never tried it with a team.
You got to try that with a team. Ain't nothing like tracking them bastards down and scaling them. Anyway, what I was going to say is this. Coming into a game like this from a standpoint of not being into creature captures, that's a big minus toward the game. And that's not a knock toward you or anybody that doesn't like that. If it's not your cup of tea with those type of things, it's not. But Mr. Renegade, I believe he's on to something when he's like, just give it a try or give it a chance. He did, and he fell in love with it. The story, you asked about story. I would say this. During the initial run of this game, the story was it was there, but it wasn't as fleshed out as it is right now, where they added quests. They even added where random pal tamers show up to challenge you. You know, if you watch my video, go check out my video. One, you know, I ran into him in on the streets, and he was like, "Yo, let's fight, let's duel." And I'm like, "I bet." He said, "But the island rules dictate it must be a fight to the death." And I watched him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that happens, and then also, so then on top of that, while you're building your base, here's another nigga happen. While you're building your base and you're doing all of this stuff and you getting it all cozy, you doing all like, man, it's a nice base here. Out of nowhere, you can get raided by strong mobs of pals that come out of nowhere and start attacking your base. Then all your pals gang up on that one group, and then one pal just start going crazy. You see this big massive fight that's happening at your base. There was a mammoth who attacked our base. It was me, Renegade, and Ray at the base, and he killed all of us. Let's keep that a buck. He killed all of us, wrecked half the base. You know what I'm saying? So, and then tried to lay there. But yeah, another thing is too that I thought Mr. Renegade was going to touch on was the fact that everything you do, whether you pick up a stick off the ground, that's XP. Bro, if you craft a weapon, it's everything is XP. Like you can move somewhere, it's XP, because everything is about progression in this game. So I think that's a big thing. So it's not like it's super grindy. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. You can make it super grindy by, you know, the sliders, and if it's too easy for you, whatnot, you can make it harder, but you know, it's not like that.
All right.
Yeah. Pause on that. You can make it harder.
No, it's not that. I think you should give it a try. Give it a try. Do you have a Game Pass?
I have Game Pass right now. Yeah. I got like the 30-day trial with my new.
Hey, there you go, buddy. There you go.
Try it.
Because I was gonna say I'm not putting money toward this unless I know I'm. So
yeah. I played
that hard out right now, honestly.
What we'll do is this. What we'll do is this. If possible, if he can download it and play it, and we'll revisit this conversation and see if his viewpoint changed. He still might say it's not for me, but I did have fun. You know, I played it now. Because that does happen. But again, Palworld 1.0 release is out right now. Go check out my video here on MegaBit Misfits. Also, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, go check out Renegade XP as well. And we're going to move on to the next subject. All right, so moving on, we're going to be talking about VR, specifically the Steam frame. That's been catching some noise lately because we've been hearing it may be not too far off coming. VR has come a long way. There's many people in the VR space, but what do you guys think of Steam right now? We could potentially see this coming sooner than later. the Steam frame. What do you think about it?
I hope that it does good, because this is I believe we're at the tail end of this generation's versions of VR with the we had, what is it, the Oculus and all these things that have done well for the last few years, but they're nowhere near I don't think they hit 10% of gaming of people playing games. You know what I mean? Overall, I think it's still very much on the low end. That's still a very new technology, and it's still very hard for people to get into, especially with technology going up and everything like that. So this is, I think, the last chance that VR has until maybe the next 4, 5, 6 years down the line for it to make a bigger impact. But right now, the technology is starting to get there. I hope that this is the one.
Yeah, me too. I'm a VR fan. I have the PlayStation VR 2. I got the Oculus 2 and 3. So, and I love them. You know what I mean? So hopefully this does good, and I'll cop it.
Hey, look, I'm this is the thing that right here. VR and non-VR gaming, which to me is a big plus. Because if you can play not only VR games, but your regular games through the headset, I think that's a plus for any VR system. You know what I mean? I think that's huge, to sit there and be in your bedroom, in your living room, hell, on a plane somewhere, I don't know, but you can sit there and play your games via the headset without having it to be an actual VR thing. You want to play your Hollow Knight, Mr. Rav, that you love?
All right, before we get too far on that, I think that AR glasses are the way to go for that when it comes to playing on a plane and things like that. Playing your regular games, AR is a better way to go, just because VR relies on you having motion controls and things like that, where AR, it doesn't. The only bad thing about AR glasses is usually you got to connect them to a phone or a separate device, versus this device where it is a PC itself. So I think that's a big difference between the VR and the AR.
Okay, while I agree with you, I'm not going to say you're wrong on the points that you made. I would just add this caveat: the VR headsets, right? It's a 2-in-1. It's a combo. You can.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. So you can play your VR games, and you can do your regular standard play of watching movies, or regular standard play on games. So you get a 2-for-1. The VR, the glasses, that's not VR. It's really just
it's augmented reality, but they're getting better. They're getting better. But the form factor wise, they're a lot easier to use than a VR headset. And
right. But what I'm saying, again, if you're in your bedroom and you want to do the 2-for-1 combo, this is not bad. I mean, I would agree. I would say I would take the glasses for like viewing movies or playing like just regular games if I'm doing it flat without having that stuff on my face. But it's like you have to pick your poison at that juncture. But if you want the 2-for-1 combo, I would go with a VR headset. My only issue with VR headsets rather is the fact that them things can get, like you said, can get clumpy. Like, who wants to be on a plane doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna look bugged out. Where the glasses, you can just be sitting there with your arms folded and looking chill. You know, right. Just the other one, you got to move around. Like you said, you do need space for what you're doing on the VR stuff. But the 2-for-1 combo, can't beat that. Mr. Renegade, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Being realistic, like nobody's gonna be anywhere else besides at home or in somebody's home playing this.
Right. Yeah, this is more like in your house, in your garage, in your empty room.
Yeah. I mean, you're able to, like, maybe go to the bathroom. you know, put it on. I don't know, but taking it to an airplane, I think that's a little extreme.
Yeah, people might. You may get picked up at the airport.
All right, I can get you. I'm not saying to play the VR stuff. About the regular standard games. Make sure this is clear, folks.
No.
About the regular.
You're not going to
and I've done that with the VR too for the PlayStation. Playing. You could play the the VR and the regular. It's just a big screen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sit there and you'll do the thing. But yeah, most definitely. Is that the way it is? It's just that headset like that.
It's the headset, right? You got can we bring up the picture? Yeah, so you got the headset,
no wires,
right?
That's awesome.
That's the front, right? That's the main mechanism is in the front. In the back, in the back, where the back piece is at, that's on the strap, is literally where the battery is stored.
Yeah, it's a battery.
The battery is on the back of the headset.
But that's it. That there's no wire. There's no other wires.
Yeah, it's from what I understand, this is a wireless device.
That's fine. I'll cop that.
It's it's high quality wireless PC streaming while still offering optimal wired connections. So you can use a wired as well, but it's wireless. So you can do both.
Can we?
But it looks like it's light too.
Now this is the controller for it. Now, from what I understand, other controllers that they have for VR aren't the same like this. Like this is modeled literally after a controller. You know what I'm saying? So they said they wanted to make sure that feel of playing a game while still holding a controller is still the same, because when people who normally play video games, let's be real, when we holding a controller, unless you don't know where your button's at, no one's looking down. It's muscle memory at this point. It's pretty much it's like typewriting. Like you're not looking at the keyboard. You know where the X button is at, the Y button is at. The only time this gets crazy is when you're playing on a controller that's not your native controller. Like if you're PlayStation head and you don't know what X is, you gotta look down and find out what's this? Like what's the equivalent? Or if you are a Nintendo head where the B button and the A button is altered on the Xbox. You know what I mean? So this is what they're going with as far as the controller. What do you guys think about this?
I like it. I like the shape of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the sticks, the symmetrical sticks. I like all of it.
Yeah, I like that as well. I think the it also comes with a strap that goes around the hand to keep it from falling off, or because a lot of straps. Because you know how that go. We already know the debacle with that thing. People blowing up TVs, knowing the damn Wiimote.
It looks like a combination of the PlayStation controller and the MetaQuest.
Yes, yeah, because Steam, they wait for everybody to do what they're going to do, and they sit back and then they formalize their own joint. You know what I mean? They wait purposely.
They have everybody else do their R&D for them. You know,
right?
No, and it's fine. I mean, go. You got to go with what the people want.
Yep.
Even if it's, even if you got to make it the same. You know what I mean? I think that looks very comfortable. And it
has back triggers and all of that. You think?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It has
a trigger and it has the two of the sides.
Yes. Yep. And then it also has if you look between the controller, it's also a trigger there as well. The Steam frame is a PC. It says it runs Steam OS, right? And it also Steam frame is verified for standalone games. Is what I'm talking about as far as like its own type of stuff. It says just like Steam Deck and Steam Machine, Steam frame will have a verified program that helps you see which games in your library is VR and non-VR and will work as standalone. So that's a great addition. So this actually helps a lot of people who already are in that ecosystem. This is the thing that they're trying to move to, is putting people in their own ecosystem. We got the Steam Deck, right? Steam Machine, the controller that I still want to cop because I think it's probably the best controller out. And then now we got this into it. Now, if we bring up the next slide talking about the Steam Machine family. My question before we move on to our reaction to a video is, out of these machines right here, besides the controller, of course, which would you think would be the best buy for someone right now getting into gaming?
Personally, I would suggest that the Steam Deck is the easiest way to go. It's right now it's a little old. It's kind of just maybe on the slower end because some of the other newer ROG Ally and things like that are newer and have better tech in them now, but I still think it's the way to go just because it's handheld. You still have your Steam library, you got the controller set up, you can hook it up to your TV. It does everything you want it to do without having to strap something to your face. So it's got all three of the other three, you know what I mean, all in one unit. Personally,
Mr. Renegade,
I agree.
You agree? Yeah. Okay.
I would definitely go with the Steam Deck, most definitely. But I heard a lot of bad things about the
Steam Machine.
The Steam Machine.
The
red line of death.
Yep, red line of death. That's the one.
What is a red line of death?
Oh man,
so you see where the blue is? That blue line. That's what I guess that turns green. That's supposed to turn green.
Yeah,
but it's been overheating, so it turns red.
Yep.
And then
there's a big chunk of devices that got sent back already because of this issue.
Yeah.
Hey,
Sorry, real quick, just to go into the controller and things like that. How long is it, do you think? Because if this is going to run Steam OS, and you know the Steam machine, you could take Steam OS and put it on your own Steam machine or your own PC, and same thing with the Steam Deck. You could put it on. You could do all of these things with your own device. How long do you think a VR headset? How long do you think it'll be before a VR headset comes without an OS installed, that you could just install your own Steam OS? And do you think that those controllers will be for sale by themselves?
What are you talking about? The regular sticks? Those?
These, yeah.
Man, I don't know.
Because if they're allowing you to install Steam OS on a regular PC to run it as a Steam machine, why wouldn't they do that for VR headset and just kind of have it like have third parties making them, just to have the people in the OS and in their ecosystem? Like,
are you talking about making, like, having third parties make their own standalone controllers?
VR headsets without an operating system that runs Steam OS.
I believe I believe Steam will allow other people to make stuff for them. I believe
you're gonna have to buy more of these controllers once they start breaking. So they're gonna be for sale separately.
Well, I believe that these controllers are gonna outlast those damn Nintendo Joy-Cons. I tell you that. I tell you that. But no, I think that Steam will allow, because Steam, to me, and again, I'm not trying to blow smoke up them, but I'm just saying they seem to be more gamer friendly than a lot of other companies when it come down to how they operate. And I think that's the reason why people gravitate to them so much, because they've taken L's, but they've also done right by gamers. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot of trust in that community. So I think that Steam would allow someone to, you know, come along and make, do that. And all they're going to do is sit back and watch, take notes, and make their own.
Yeah.
They're going to do.
As they should.
You know? I agree. I agree with you on that. I just still think no matter what, it's a company, they're there to make money. So whether they're kind to the customers or not, they're there to make money. They not to say that they could care less, but they're there to make money. And that's the end of it all. You know what I mean? They're there for business. They're there for your business. They're there for your money.
They are there for the money, but in getting the money, how do you get the money? It's the player trust. You gotta have that on your side. It's the reason why I know we brought it up so many times, but Cyberpunk, they lost a lot of trust when they didn't sit there and say to people, hey, you might want to get that other. We know we promised you this, but it's not going to run on that system. You need something for what we're trying to do and trying to produce, because we want to make sure you get that quality. Make sure you get this system, because it's not going to run on this other system. You know, and people will respect that more than you sitting there selling them a dream, and everybody, when you get the first game, everybody's T-posing. Like, nobody wants that, bro. You know? But let's get into the reaction. We got a reaction. We're going to be doing a reaction to a video about the Steam frame. All right, so we're going to be doing a reaction to Nick Flip's video about the Steam frame. Let's get into it.
The Steam frame. Valve is closer than ever to releasing this thing. We've been waiting forever, since 2025, for a hopeful 2026 summer release. We are finally edging on the latter end of summer, and looking at new leaks, shipments that are happening, stuff Steam is doing on their end within the Steam store. And we're going to be making a bunch of other predictions, like pricing and how it's going to perform with the Steam machine and how they're going to do the reservation system. We're going to get into all of that in this video. Stay tuned. It's a really, really exciting time to be in the VR community. But before we get into all of that, if you like what I'm doing here, hit like, hit subscribe. I hate to ask, but that's part of the game. It's what I gotta do. And stay tuned. We're going to be getting into everything here. You don't want to miss it. So Valve's already confirmed that the Steam frame, as well as the Steam machine, are shipping in this summer, the summer of 2026, in an early posting we saw back in June. The original plans were early 2026, but obviously it's pretty clear to see why that got delayed with all of the memory shortages and Valve not being able to lock down a price. Speaking of price, stay tuned. We're going to be talking about that later in the video. But yeah, it makes sense.
I'm going to pause it right here. Fellas, how much do you think this thing would cost?
The VR?
Yeah. If you had to put a guess on this.
$700?
I wish. That's a man. I'm thinking 12 to 13, maybe even up to 15.
Are you saying that that the VR is gonna cost more than the Steam machine?
Yeah,
The
'cause
basic,
you got the wireless controllers, you got the battery pack, whether it's removable or not. In some countries, you gotta have to have the removable battery. So yeah, I definitely, and you could do way more with it. So I think,
all right.
Yeah, I don't think that's a price.
it's
Hey,
not,
that's
it's
crazy.
not, but the
That's
times we're
crazy.
in right now, the
Let's
times
see
we're
what-
in right now,
crazy.
everything is expensive, man.
Let's see what Nick says at the end. Let's see if Nick got a what he got going on with the price.
As to why things got delayed, but we are now in summer. This is the time that Valve has promised in that blog post, and the Steam machine's already out the door, and reservation queue and even some of the waitlist queue are being fulfilled. Like, people have this thing in their hands. Not many people, but a small majority of people, it's slowly trickling out. So obviously what's coming next is the next hardware rollout, because we have the controller, we have the machine, we're just waiting on the frame. So we got to look at some of the latest leaks that prove that it is going to happen much sooner than we think. So Valve just got a massive shipment of VR headsets, but not only headsets, they got HMD plus VR controller accessory arrivals at US warehouses, tens of tons. Now, this is likely the Ergo kit that Valve was advertising early on with the campaign. Basically like a strap for your head and grip straps for the controllers, if I'm correct. Now, they're probably going to be shipping these in bundles with the actual Steam frame itself. There's also a bunch of other FCC filings as well that are happening regarding all of these headsets.
Mr. Rav, I know we talked offline about this. What do you think about that?
About the components being delivered to the warehouses. Yeah,
to the warehouses and stuff.
I'm curious to know where the warehouses are, because when the Steam machines were popping up, they were here in New York and and other just major warehouses in different cities and things like that. But if these are coming piecemeal, where you got to like build the machine itself, build up the device before you can put it in boxes to sell, so they're still technically in the manufacturing process. Maybe not manufacturing in a sense of like factories, but like putting it all together, putting the components together to be able to sell it.
Step 1, step 2, final stage, boxing, shipping, packaging, all of that stuff. But from the way it sounds, we could be, and he said in the beginning, if I'm not mistaken, that it was supposed to be this summer. Like,
it's supposed to. They said early summer for all three devices: the controller, the Steam machine, and the headset. I don't think this is gonna make.
I don't think it's making summer. I think it's gonna make the
October.
fall.
I'm saying
October. Yo, because they call it Broketober. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna drop right during that time, bro. Broketober. What about you, Mr. Renegade? What you thinking?
If it's not out right now,
holidays. That would be the best place. You know what? Yes, that also gives them more time to, because I'm pretty sure what's gonna come first. The pre-orders, right? Pre-orders are gonna come first, right? And then from there they ship it out. So who knows? Maybe they'll do. What's up?
Valve is very good at meeting those pre-orders in a very short amount of time. So I think they took Steam machine pre-orders like 2 or 3 weeks before. So maybe if they're already going to start taking pre-orders soon, you would assume a few weeks after that. I mean, they did the same thing with the Steam machine. I think it was like 2 weeks before as well. As the Steam Deck, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And this has already happened a lot earlier, and they've been approved already. So obviously a lot of things are happening in the back end that point to the Steam frame being ready. Valve has them on hand. The FCC filings have happened. There's a bunch of other stuff too on the Steam store where the Great on Frame section has appeared. So it's very clear we're going to be getting this soon. So what we know about the Steam frame specs so far from what Valve has said is it's going to be a standalone VR headset with a Snapdragon processor with a streaming focus from your PC or even your Steam machine. Now, what this means is on the headset itself, it runs a native ARM Snapdragon chip. This will play some of your games on Steam pretty competently. Now, we've already seen this working with other handhelds like the Ein Thor and the Retroid Pocket. A lot of these are using ARM chips.
What is that?
I was about to say,
somebody in the comment section tell me what the hell is that? Because I want it.
That's some AI.
You said it's AI?
Some AI bullshit. No, I'm sure that's got to be a real device, but I don't know, man. That's nice.
It's crazy because it's
Somebody,
Rams.
yo, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm more interested in this than the headset. I ain't gonna hold you.
If you know what it is in the comments, please leave us. Let us
Please,
know,
if
please.
you know what this is in the comments, let us know. Like Mr. Rav said, please.
This is $1,000.
He said this is $1,000. That's the ROG Allied.
Right. Jeez.
Steam has been making such a push lately with ARM CPUs because not only are they power efficient, but they're also very powerful under the right conditions. And judging by the fact that they're using a Snapdragon chip here on the higher end, this is going to be a more powerful ARM chip to help process some of those lower powered VR games. So you could expect to probably see maybe some Quest 3 ports coming over to the Steam frame that are going to run natively on the headset. Also, you can play
Real quick, I don't know why.
I knew
Every
you
time
was gonna do it. I knew you was gonna do it.
I don't know what am I about to say.
That stick. we were having that conversation about this.
The controller to me, I ain't gonna hold you.
Mm.
I think, and again, it's up Nintendo's alley. I think with the controller, they should make it that you could snap it together and pull it apart. Like, I don't know. I keep looking at it like as if I want to put them bad boys together to make one controller, and it should snap apart to make two different ones.
I wouldn't be surprised based off of like I know with one of the older Steam controllers you was able to do that where you could pull the buttons off and switch the joystick to the buttons and things like that. I know that they've had modular controllers like that before. I don't know if Steam made them. I could be completely misremembering this, but that'd be really cool if you could.
Yeah, if you could snap them bad boys together, that'd be tough.
2D games as well. We actually saw that in the advertising itself, right on the headset in a kind of big theater sort of gameplay experience. And we also have some hints at what the UI is going to look like already. A lot of postings from Brad Lynch and other screenshots showing the updated Steam Home interface. So it's going to work all kind of seamlessly, just like the Steam Machine and Steam Deck is. And stream to your PC because Valve's included that dongle as well. Now that we know everything about the headset itself and what it's capable of doing, we got to talk about pricing. Now, I think a lot of us should sharpen our expectations a little bit here because look what
Renegade, sharpen your expectations, buddy.
happened with the
They
Steam
need, they need to sharpen
This all started from the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck had a major $250 to $300 price increase. This brought it up to a quite inaccessible level for many people. But a lot of people at this time were still thinking that the Steam Machine was going to be under $1,000. The Steam Machine is a much more powerful home mini PC box that you could shove in your living room. And in its form factor, I still think there's not much like it on the market. Now, it starts at $1,049 US. So there's your answer. Now that we have kind of a reference for what a full-powered kind of mini PC box in your living room would be like, what can we expect from the VR market here? Now, if you look at the most accessible options right now, you're looking at the Quest. Meta is going to subsidize a ton because they have their ecosystem more locked in. Now, you can sideload, but it's a little more finicky than just being able to do it out of the box like you can on the Steam frame. There's also a lot of setup involved in the process as well, and it's missing a bunch of features that Steam VR has over it. Now, since we know that out of the box, the Steam frame is a massively accessible, customizable PC-like experience that also works natively in the headset.
I gotta ask this question: have any of you played MetaQuest? Have you ever tried it?
Yeah, my nephews have it, and I've used it.
Okay. How did you like that experience?
With the games that I played, I mean, they were like more kid games. That's more their type of game. I was playing with them. And I thought it was fun. It was capable of what it was, but I would eventually, I was hoping that by now we would be at the next echelon of graphics for VR games. And I know that there are some games that are fairly graphics intensive, but for what I want to see to help me not feel nauseous, not feel dizzy, not get those spells that some people get, I think better graphics is a way to go, and better eye tracking can help with all of those things. And those things, these devices, that the metas that I tried wasn't able to do that for me.
Okay.
I'm thinking the pricing is going to start minimum $1,000 US. And the reason I'm saying this is quite simple. We're looking at a headset that is all-in-one, free to use however you like. It's got no gated ecosystem out the gate. You can flash this thing if you wanted to.
That's your answer right there, Mr. Rav. You was talking about that earlier. Like, I believe you're saying something along the lines of like the OS, like what can you do with this? And I think that right there is a big key for some people where they could just, I don't want to use the word hack, modify. I'm gonna like to use that word, modify.
Like you said, flash it.
Yeah. What you just gonna say, Mr. Renegade? What you got?
I said it's a PC, so yeah.
Yeah,
it would do those things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anything else on it? It is just like the Steam Machine, a PC on your head, kind of. If we look at Valve's older headset, the Index, that is a bit of a different beast. The fact that it requires the lighthouses and stuff, and by today's day is very much out of date. We can't really use that as a benchmark because, quite frankly, I don't think Valve is even...
I forgot all about the Valve Index, bro. I forgot all about this. Oh my gosh.
No bueno.
No bueno. And the crazy thing is, if you notice that it has the speakers on the side, like it's connected to the side of the headset.
Yeah, that's
using those.
Huh?
I said tech has gotten better for sound when it comes to these headsets.
that wow.
Much anymore. It doesn't make a lot of sense that it's the price point it's at. The frame essentially is supposed to replace the Index as far as I'm aware. Now, this could go up all the way to the $1,200 and I honestly want to say $1,500 range if we're...
See? Woo! 1,500?
Nobody's gonna get it.
I don't think they expect to sell too many of them. I think they know what they're getting themselves into after the Steam Machines. Like Steam Machines sold, but I don't know how well it sold. They're not saying no numbers yet.
I feel like with the shortage and everything that's going on in the tech space, it's like this was like a curveball to the entire industry. Because like they already committed, like for example, Xbox already committed to making the Helix. They can't turn back. They made a deal with AMD. So it's like we got to make this console. As badly as we're gonna take a hit on this, we have to make the console because we already paid. Like
they could push it back a little bit though. Like the same thing with this is like they probably already had a lot of these already manufactured or in the process of manufacturing. Contracts were signed and ready to go. Yeah, they definitely they didn't want to sit on them for too long, so they're gonna sell them.
Yeah, bro. Oh my gosh. 1,500.
Looking at higher storage options here because let's be honest, it is a VR device. Its capabilities extend far beyond what a Steam Deck or a Steam Machine can do. Not only can it natively play games in the headset, but it could also play lighter 2D games in the headset. And
I'm upset that it look like somewhere in New York. I'm tight. I'm tight.
Jump over to more powerful VR games via the dongle, streaming right from your PC with really low latency. That in itself, coupled with the fact that you could put pretty much anything you want on this device, it's a free platform, makes this a high-end Steam ecosystem device. So we have to keep that in mind. That's my roundup for pricing. So what this means for Steam VR and PC gaming is huge. Steam VR right now has been stuck in a place where a lot of people own like a Meta Quest. There's the Pimax headsets and stuff like that. A lot of those cost way more. And then there's the Quest that costs a lot cheaper. So what Steam is doing here again with the Steam Frame is exactly what the Steam Machine is doing, for its niche at least. It is trying to position itself perfectly in the middle baseline, all-in-one, best all-rounder device. And I think Valve has proven with the Steam Deck before its price increase that they're just so good at mastering that philosophy where they're not...
I'm sorry, I'm never gonna understand you handheld people that play a handheld game using a controller. I would never understand. Look at the screen right now. Look at the screen. No,
they're playing two players in a McDonald's or something.
No. It's handheld for me. I'm not playing with nobody else, bro. That's diabolical.
He made a good point where it's like he's talking about how Valve is creating the devices to be in the middle. He's creating a baseline for tech companies to be like, all right, well, my game has to play at least on this. So they're not trying to go for the ultra powerful. They're not trying to go for the ultra weak. They're trying to stay right in the middle. So this way it makes it simpler for developers to make games for this thing. So, I mean, you can't expect like the most impressive technology ever when it right out the gate. You know what I mean? It's going to be a while.
That still doesn't explain why these two people are sharing the damn handheld. Let's get into it.
Good at one specific thing. They're not like the masters of it, but all together it becomes a masterful package. So keep that in mind for what kind of device this is. This is huge for Steam VR, PC gaming, and the VR community as a whole. This is going to be the device to get, assuming Valve can produce them in enough supply, which we'll get into that a little bit later when we talk about order reservations and how they're likely going to set that up. But before we get to that, if you're as hyped for the Steam Frame as I am, again, hit like, hit subscribe. I hate to ask, but I got to throw that in there. But really would appreciate having you here. It means a lot. Be sure to tick on notifications because I'm always talking about the Steam ecosystem and PC gaming as.
Hey, shout out to Nick Flip. Go check him out. He's talking about the Steam.
Valve is selling these at cost, as they've stated, so they are making a little bit of profit on it regardless. So it's not a loss if they sell more of these by bundling it with a game. But that's just my theory, a game theory. But let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think the Steam Frame is going to come out? What will the price be? What's the order reservation thing going to look like? I want to hear everything down below. And once again, if you've liked this one, hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you for coming back to another one. Always love doing these videos for all of you. This has been Nick. It's an exciting time to be in the Steam and PC gaming and VR community, and I will see you all in the next one.
So we got to do what Nick does. Nick said it like 3 times. Subscribe to him. Go subscribe to Nick. Okay, we need subscribers too.
Us right now. What
you
the
know
hell?
what I'm saying? Dang, that's what's up, Nick. That's what's up. Shout outs to Nick, and also subscribe to MegaBit Misfits right here. Leave, like, comment, and subscribe. But fellas, I got 2 questions before we end it. One, what do you think is the biggest thing stopping console and PC players from getting into VR?
Sales numbers. I think sales numbers are drastically low when PSVR hit, especially PSVR 2. They had no games for this thing. They got, I think, a total of like 14 games for PSVR 2. PSVR 1 did much better. They had a regular-ish slew of games that would come from third parties and some of the first parties, but they promised a lot for PSVR 2 and didn't deliver on it. And they shot themselves in the foot because they wanted to sell it and just could not keep up with any of the games that they said they were going to put out. Everybody thought it was going to be like I don't know, like God of War VR and all of these other things when it came out, when PSVR 2 came out, and none of that hit. So I was like, oh.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, and I think that's what, because I mean you're buying a VR headset to play VR. Playing regular games on it's cool, but not a lot of people are going to do that. Like I thought that was cool at first, but I'm not. You know what I mean? It was good for like a week or 2, and then I just went back to my TV. You know what I mean? People want VR games.
The VR 2 also, the VR 2, PSVR 2 also had the problem of being wired, where the Oculus was wireless. And I think people will definitely go and spend way more money on an Oculus just to have the comfort of being wireless. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the option of having way more games available to it, even though you have to give your information to Meta and all these other, but
the price of your soul.
Yeah. So I have both. I have the 2 and the 3.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 has way more games. I was really, really surprised because you guys can laugh at me if you want. I bought the Oculus 3, the MetaQuest 3 for the Batman game.
No, that's fine. The game was good.
Yeah,
that game came out and did great numbers.
But then I played the Deadpool game. There's a Deadpool game on there.
Yeah, that's right. There is. Deadpool VR just came out. Yeah.
Then I played another game. It's called Arizona Sunshine 1 and 2. Fire.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fire. And there was just a whole bunch of games I downloaded. I was like, I didn't expect this. So I thought it was gonna be like the Oculus 2, which, like you said, it only came out with like 10 games, maybe that was like really good.
They did a much better job. They did a much better job getting the third parties to make games for them.
Yeah, and the only reason I got the second one was for Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
Because they have Resident Evil 4 on there. But I hope that when this one comes out for the price that it is, $1,500, that it has a decent amount of VR games, not just hey, you can play your the games that you have too, which I'm I don't think that's gonna sell, but
With
Well,
that, this is sorry to cut you off.
Mm,
This,
that's
this
okay.
is probably this is the only rake that Microsoft didn't step on, was not making VR. You know what I mean? It's the only thing they did right, was not make a VR headset.
We're gonna stay out of this one.
Yeah,
We're gonna
you're
stay
right.
out of this one. Bro, and if the market was not the way it was, they would have been in it. You know, they would have gotten this. You know, they did the
I'm sure they had
handheld
some
already.
plan.
They was like, we had a VR. Oh, we taking too many hits. But for me personally, I think that, to me, this is just a personal thing. I don't know. Maybe people in the comment section may feel the same way, or you guys may understand it. I feel like what the disconnect between players that play on PC and console and VR is the fact that, like, I tried VR, I played it, and it was fun. It was great, but I don't think it has sustaining power. I think when I visualize VR, for me, I want to see Ready Player One. Like, that's the VR I want.
Exactly.
Like, when I'm in there, I want to be that immersed. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that requires other types of means of sorcery that I'm not willing to get into. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that connection between playing on console and PC and playing in the VR world, I don't think, just for me, it's not on the level of Ready Player One, like being that immersive to play the game, where it really feels like you're in it. Like right now, like I can't see myself unless I'm looking at the screen or a mirror, where you're that close to certain things. You know, I think that's, to me, where the disconnect comes in at. I think we will always default back to screen, controller, or keyboard in that sense. You know, I don't think that we'll ever be at that point without other means of technology to be that immersed in the game, and I think that's the reason why.
I think you're right on that. I think VR is very much a beyond luxury item. You know what I mean? Where gaming in general, you can get gaming on very cheap devices to very expensive devices, and I think VR is one of those. You got to be on the higher end to kind of like enjoy that and kind of like have the money to. Not necessarily the money, because it wasn't expensive when the Oculus was being put out and all that stuff, but there's other ways to game that are probably just as good, if not better. You know what I mean? For most people, or people that will be satisfied doing that. Yeah. That's
all right. Last question, and we can wrap it up. Where do you guys see VR in the next 5 to 10 years with the advancement with AI and how technology is moving forward? Where do you see it? I just threw AI out there, but I'm just saying I'm pretty sure they're going to probably throw that in these devices one day, sooner or later. But where do you see VR as a whole in 5 to 10 years? Do you still see it being where it's at right now? Because I've always envisioned that by now we would see leaps and bounds in VR, but it seems to be stagnant for, you know, I guess for the reasons I mentioned. But where do you see it in 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, Renegade.
Ready Player One.
Yeah,
I hope we get to. I mean, hopefully, you know what I mean. But I feel like they're not trying to make it as real as they can for a reason. You know, you want it to feel like a video game. You know, you want that line between realism and okay, this is a game. This is a game. You know what I mean? Sometimes you know it's not about graphics. Sometimes, you know what I mean, like you can have a game that has great graphics and you're like, oh, this sucks. You know what I mean? Palworld. No, but no. I hope because I like VR. I like VR. And I hope it just gets better. You know, not too expensive. But, yeah. I hope so. That's what I can say. I don't really know where it's gonna go, but I hope it does very good because I'm a VR fan.
I say I go back to what I said early on, and with this whole VR thing, is that I believe this is the last ditch effort. That, you know, unless Meta makes another VR set that's going to be stronger and more powerful than this, I think this is going to be the last one we see for at least 10 years. If this doesn't work, if it takes off and sells well, great, and may VR continue to succeed. But if not, I can guarantee you, just like we saw red and blue VR headsets back in or 3D headsets back in the day, and bad CG movies with big VR in the movies, You know, the VR wasn't a thing back then. The Virtual Boy, you know what I mean, was what we had back in the 90s, 80s. You know what I mean? So think about that. And then we took 10 years off. We had VR again. It's gone this far, so it's not doing terrible, but it could be doing way better. I say this is the last chance. If this doesn't work, I don't see VR happening for another 10, 15 years after that.
I agree with you. That's why I say I hope it does good.
Yeah.
So this is it.
One last thing I'm gonna say is this: we need the Iron Man joint going. We need that whole.
yeah.
We need that. You want to get immersive? I want to touch the shit in the air. All right, fellas. Again,
it's all on Steam. No pressure.
You know, it's all on Steam. They're just gonna sit back and watch somebody else do it first, and then they come behind them. All right, fellas. That's been the video. We're glad and hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section, like and subscribe to the video. Also, make sure to go check out our boy right here, Renegade XP, also known as RXPG, but it's actually Renegade XP Gaming. Anyway, check him out. Check out our next video, and don't forget to like and subscribe again. And we out of here. See you on the next one.
Peace.